What are 5 practical ways that companies, organizations can support their employees, their team members over the holidays, all right, and leading up to the holidays? And so we haven't met. My name is Dr. Karen Gordon. I've been doing this work for over 25 years, both working with organizations globally, all types of different companies, as well as at a family practice. And so I see this. I see that when companies do this really well, they've got amazing engagement, retention, great culture. And when companies don't do this well, they've got a lot of problems in terms of retention, engagement, culture. So what are 5 practical ways? I'm going to teach it to you. Get out your pen and paper. And some of these you might already be doing, and some of them you might be like, hey, you know what, we can do that one a little bit better. So this is a chance for us to kind of really lean in. All right, so the first one is not going to be probably a total surprise, but I want to really highlight it. One of the best ways to really reduce stress for employees, team members, as we're approaching and over the holidays, is around public appreciation. So I love data and science. If you follow me here on YouTube, and if you haven't followed me before, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you are notified with all the other free resources that we actually have. So 70% of people say that receiving public appreciation from colleagues at the end of the year reduces their stress. 70%. So this is your first takeaway, everybody. What are you doing to publicly acknowledge the work of colleagues and your team members? You can either, whether or not it's actually in your team or you're doing it company-wide, ask yourself, what are you doing for public appreciation? Just think about that. 70%. Just like that, 70% of stress goes down when people actually acknowledge. So a lot of times it's the simple stuff that really, really makes a difference. And so that's the first thing you want to really pay attention to. What are you doing as a team, as an organization, to publicly appreciate and voice the appreciation to other people within your organization? That's number one. Number two, really focus on a flexible work schedule. So we work with companies, like I said, globally in all kinds of different industries. And, some companies that we work with, it's traditional Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. There's a lot of other companies that we work with that's more healthcare, there's shift work. And so organizations and teams, especially the smaller ones, they have to be a lot more creative around, okay, we want to make sure that everybody gets time off. How can we actually do that? And how can we do that really well? So really use the time and invest in terms of understanding your team members. What's their intention over the holidays? How are they, how much time are they looking to have off? Is there a way that we can kind of make this a little bit more flexible so that everybody's needs get met? It's a puzzle, but it takes time, but it will actually save time, because when teams do this really well and everybody's needs are getting met, then all of a sudden you're going to have a much stronger engagement. So for example, one of the companies we were working with, they had somebody, actually a couple of team members, that needed to fly to see their family over the holidays, and just with the travel needs, they were going to be away from the office a lot more than some of the other folks. And so, but because they voiced that and they were able to talk about it as a team, other team members were able to actually take some of their shifts so that everybody was able to get their needs met. Some of the other people actually wanted to get more hours. Some people actually wanted to take more time off. But because it was an open dialogue and they were focused on problem solving and voicing and communicating it well as a team, everybody was able to get their needs met, which was fantastic. Sometimes it's not that simple, but we want to try to be flexible with our working schedule as best as we can so that everybody's needs get met. So that's number two. And those require, everything that we're talking about really is drawing from what's called leadership emotional intelligence. That's our specialty. That's what we do. And so you'll want to get your hands on our free scorecard. It actually measures your leadership emotional intelligence because it looks at things like your communication, your goal setting, your stress management, all the things that we're actually talking about. So you can score yourself and see how you do with your leadership EQ, and that will actually help you as you are actually working through all this. So just in the comments below, write EQ. Someone from our team will send it to you, and it's free. It's a wonderful free resource. But certainly voicing your public appreciation and having the courage to kind of lean in and ask and advocating for a flexible work schedule. That's drawing now on your communication, which is part of that leadership EQ. So it's all interconnected. Number three, Really look at what are you doing in your relationships. That's actually another part of the EQ. You'll see that on the scorecard. A really simple way that a lot of teams, certainly if they're organizations, if they're struggling a little bit in terms of financially, they're trying to figure out kind of fun, creative ways in terms of developing culture, but they don't have a huge budget. You can look at either whether or not you're doing like a potluck. That could be a great way to kind of pull the team together, whether or not there's a bit of a budget to actually go out for dinner, but something around celebrating. There's something, when you think about a team, okay, you think about team, you think about organizations. It's important that you laugh together and you celebrate together and you problem solve together. And so it's really important. There's something about breaking bread. There's something about having a meal together that really helps to speed up and help to cultivate that culture. And so think about what can we do to kind of really help to break bread or have a meal together. And whether or not it's before the holidays, I have a lot of companies that they actually like to do it after the holidays. They like to do it kind of in the January, February, once people are kind of like a little bit more relaxed. So think about what you can actually do from, breaking bread together. Number 4, once you've actually established in terms of, what the boundaries are in terms of, the personal time off and when everybody's having their holidays, really try to honor people's boundaries. Nothing is more frustrating for a lot of team members that, boundaries have been established. People have kind of figured out what their working schedule is, and all of a sudden they're now still getting emails from their manager or from other people. And it's really important for us to, as best as we can, respect personal time off. Really, really important. People will feel respected by that. And so again, there's emergency situations that we need, that rule has to be broken. But as a golden rule and as a golden boundary, it's really, really good for people's emotional well-being that they know that their personal time off is going to be respected. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5 is the final one. Really make sure that as a leader, as a manager, as a team, as a colleague, even as an emerging leader, regardless of if you've read my book, The 3 Chairs, you know that I think about leadership not as a title and a role, but as a mindset. And so even if you're an emerging leader, you're new at the company, talk about the importance about boundaries. Boundaries are your best friend. If you really want to kind of reduce your stress, we need to learn how to set boundaries. So regardless of your position and role, it's really important to talk about the importance about boundaries, the importance about self-care, the importance about reducing our stress. Why? Well, it's good because we care about people, and it's because it also helps to drive performance and productivity. High performance is best friends with stress management and emotion management and boundaries, okay? You don't get the one without the other. People cannot perform at a very high level if they're not taking care of their emotion management and their stress management. You'll see this on the scorecard. Like I said, you can put an EQ below and somebody from our team will actually send it to you, but you'll see it on this one pager that when we want to really perform at a high level, we have to make sure that we are managing our stress. And so these are 5 different ways, practical ways, simple ways. And for the most part, actually, they're all free. So these are simple ways that we can actually all, companies with teams, colleagues, emerging leaders, what can we do over the holiday season to really reduce the stress for ourselves, but also for those around us. So hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you're notified for some of our other great videos, and definitely be sure to check out some of our other YouTube channels, our other YouTube videos. We've got lots of great practical free videos for you to help really with your business, your relationships, but also your well-being.